Hello and welcome back to round 8 of the Open Division EU. I am Spaceman, and I'm joined by the all-knowing Zark. How are you doing on this final, Zark?
I'm doing great, Spaceman. I'm really excited to kick this match off. It's Freak Squad versus BDX, Bad Companies. So I think this is going to be a fun match.
Should be. We had a really fun match before just joining us. Go back, watch that VOD after this game, of course. But as you said, we got Freak Squad versus BDX Bad Company, and now I know one of these teams is they've come across from console fairly recently.
Yeah, that's right. Freak Squad. They are coming from Xbox, where a lot of their team members were rated really high. I mean, Static was #1 in Season 7 on Xbox. Mickey was #1 in Season 8. So these are players who definitely have some experience with Overwatch, but I'm really interested to see how that translates to PC because there are some mechanical differences, obviously. Maybe they're using a controller. I think it would be kind of tough. But transitioning from the controller to PC, as somebody who's, done it myself going from PS4 to PC, it definitely is a bit of a challenge. So I'm really curious to see, does that mechanical skill and the knowledge translate from Xbox to PC?
Well, I think the knowledge will, because these guys have been together for, it seems like a couple of years now. I think they've got one new player. But, they're already 4K plus, these players, on PC. So I don't suspect it's going to have too much of a difference here. But, it's a nice tidbit to know that, you can transition like that. And these guys obviously want to do really well here in Open Division. Let's talk a bit now about BDX Bad Company. They've got quite a few high-ranking players on there. Again, 4K plus. So some funny names there as well. I think Helly Jelly's got my name of the match so far.
Helly Jelly is a good one for sure. But yeah, this is an interesting team. A very European team that you have players from France, Norway, Denmark, Poland, and then you also have an NA player from Chicago, in Juno. So a little bit of a mix there, kind of interesting. But this is a team that's been together for about 10 months, except for Helly Jelly. That's going to be a little bit of a question mark for me. They were a recent addition that came in just before Open Division started, so I'm wondering how Helly Jelly is going to really mix in with the rest of the team.
Yeah, we are round 8 now, so these players on both sides have had a lot of time to play together in a competitive format at this level. So I think the coordination's going to be there. I was casting the previous matchup, and there'd been some player swaps, and one of the teams there, Eclipse, had players that had only played together for a week, and it kind of showed. Oh, wow. And I think this time round, both teams here been together at least since the start of Open Division, right? And for Freak Squad, they've been around together, most of them, for a lot longer. So I think we're going to be seeing some real tight coordination from both sides, which at this level is great to see, because it means you're probably not going to get a 3-0. It's going to go a little longer than that. Might even get some tiebreakers. I haven't casted one yet, but I'd absolutely love to go to those different maps. And speaking of maps, let's talk about the map pool here, because it's pretty good. I think the map pool is really good for Open Division this time round.
It's really cool. It's a good map pool for sure. Starting out with the control map, it's going to be either Busan or Nepal. Busan, not a whole lot of play at the really high levels of Overwatch, that tier 1. We saw it a little bit in the World Cup, and we're seeing it in contenders now. But I think that, we're still figuring it out. It's the newest map right now, and teams are still kind of figuring out what's the best way to really play it. Obviously, Goats, the triple tank, triple support composition that's definitely in the meta right now, is very popular to run on it, but definitely still some room for creativity.
Yeah, but Busan, as you say, it's a lot newer than Nepal. Old school. A lot of the players have played on that for a very long time. I like both maps there. I think, actually, I prefer Nepal just because I'm a bit of a main tank player myself. I like playing Orisa, and Sanctum just allows you to get those cheeky pulls. But that's just personal preference there. I think both maps, though, really well designed. Control maps, obviously, symmetrical as well. So a great place to start off, because it puts both teams on equal footing, both trying to get that point, both showing what they can do, and trying to assert dominance early on to maybe get the psychological advantage over their opponents.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I have to agree with you on Nepal. I'm also a main tank player myself, and Orisa definitely not the strongest of the main tanks right now. But when you get a chance to play that particular hero, when you get a chance to get those nice halts off the edge, it definitely feels good. So, I'm hoping we get to see some of that. It would be pretty fun. But overall, these are some great maps, and really for control maps, it's an opportunity for teams to show their mechanical skill, because sometimes strategies and using map geometry doesn't matter as much. It's still important, but doesn't matter quite as much as your escorts, your hybrids, where you have a payload and you have to kind of change your game plan as you progress through the map. With control, it's a little more static. You know where the point is. It's a king of the hill style of play, and that's where your mechanical skill can really shine.
Yeah, and as I said, it's a great way to assert your dominance with that mechanical skill. But as we saw in the previous matchup, winning that first control map doesn't always work out for you, and that's one of the best things about Overwatch. You've got these different game modes with different objectives and different win conditions. So we'll be going either to Nepal or Busan first map, and we got a few other maps after that. Escort, we're definitely going to be seeing an escort map today. Teams have a choice of either Dorado or Route 66. We've seen a lot of Dorado recently, not a lot of Route 66. Certainly, from what I've casted recently. What do you think? There's a reason for that? Just people more comfortable, or?
I think it might be a comfort thing. Because I know that we've seen some really interesting compositions being run on Route 66 lately. Partly because the openness of the map lends itself to some creative compositions. So we've seen some DPS heavy compositions. Believe it or not, in this triple tank, triple support meta, we have seen some DPS heavy compositions being run on Route 66, and that might scare some people. They might think that that's not something they're totally comfortable going against. It's not that composition might not be in their own personal wheelhouse. So I understand why teams sometimes stray from that, because looking at things in contenders, and even if you've been watching some of the open division matches, you can see some pretty interesting compositions that I think teams are kind of steering away from. Whereas Dorado, we've seen that map in a lot of, Overwatch League Season 1. People kind of know that map a little bit more. You can run the triple tank, triple support a little more easily, in my opinion, on that map. So I think that's why that one tends to be a little more favorable for teams.
And moving on, the other map that, we're definitely going to see, because obviously to win out straight away, you've got to get a 3-0. So we will be going again to an assault map. We're going to be going to either Hanamura or Volskaya Industries. And I've seen that sort of 50-50% pick rate there. I think from what I've seen, if the sort of losing team that's able to pick that map has been losing out on the heavy front, so on the Goats front, maybe they think they can do a little bit better with ranged heroes. They tend to go, from what I've seen so far, to Volskaya, because I think at second point, you've got a few vantage points there that you're able to use, where on Hanamura, you've got the high ground on the right, but you've got to take that high ground first.
Absolutely, yeah. High ground is super important. So, with high ground, you really can control the map a little bit more, especially if you run maps with some more dive-heavy tanks, where your Winstons and your Divas. You can use that high ground to really stage dives. You can use it to get into the enemy backline a little bit more effectively.
And talking about getting into the enemy more effectively here, we will be going to, and we're going to be starting out on downtown. So we've got some boot potential here. Personally, I absolutely love to see it. Sometimes you get a few boops here towards the edge, but a lot of teams here, I think, do like to run Goats, and especially use that little cubby hole next to point there, just to shield themselves from some poke damage before the point unlocks.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a triple tank, triple support heavy map, but we've seen some more interesting compositions. Sometimes you see some Widowmakers who utilize that high ground really effectively, but overall the map geometry on this particular map is really interesting to me because you have that high ground right next to the actual point that you don't see a whole lot of teams utilizing right now, because that's just kind of the way the team compositions play. You don't really need to utilize that as much, but I would be curious to see whether teams decide to utilize that geometry to their advantage.
Yeah, it is going to be exceptionally interesting to see. It's difficult though on that high ground because the enemy can quite easily get underneath it, which will shield you from a lot of the damage.
Exactly, yeah. So now looking at the team compositions, we do see that Freak Squad and Bad Company are going to be running pretty similar compositions. It's basically mirror comps, and they are slammed into each other right now.
Yeah, both choosing to go at it head to head here, using their core, getting aggressive with each other. Both teams trying to get the first pick, get an early advantage in this fight. Nothing in the kill feed as yet. However, Danslace does go down to the beam of Jigreg there, so it is a 6v5, and quite rightly, the team there, Freak Show, having to back up and reset here.
Really good focus fire on that Reinhardt, because without your main tank in this Ghost compositions, things really start to fall apart quickly. You need that shield in front of you to help you engage. So now Freak Squad, they're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. Friday already has their ultimate, whereas Dan's only has 72%.
Yeah, both teams engaging. Both of these rally here, so with that little bit of extra sustain, that little bit of extra armor that will allow the fight to go out. Oh my gosh, the shatter though, fantastic there from Friday. We didn't even need to wait until Friday to use that. They're pushing ahead all the way back to spawn, getting the staggers. Bad Company doing a really good job at getting those staggers, delaying the next fight.
Great stuff from Friday. As a Reinhardt main myself, I just thought that was really exceptional play from them. They had the perfect timing there. Really great stuff. And they have a couple of ultimates to keep going. So they didn't use a whole lot to win that team fight. And so now Freak Squad, they need to find a way to get back into this. They do have a grab and a shatter themselves, but they need to use them effectively.
But they're all caught in a Graviton surge at the moment. The Transcendence, though, comes out, keeping a lot of them alive, but doesn't matter for long because the self-destruct goes over the top from OMJ. OMJ getting a lot of picks there. Great teamwork, great coordination there from Freak Show.
All started with that Graviton surge from Callum, just grouping everyone up. Of course, Bad Company, they did have the trans, but by then, you know, they were able to withstand a little bit, but then the shatter came in from Dan's, and it was pretty much all over. But Freak Squad needs to use a lot of ultimates to get back in, whereas Bad Company, they have a grab Diva Bomb combo of their own coming up here.
And they're getting straight in there. Friday swinging away. Shatter comes down, however there's already a Transcendence out from Mickey, keeping Freak Squad alive. However, they're caught in the grab now with it. Doesn't need to catch anything though, because Friday's already got a 2k there. Friday gotta get down on Friday. All pushing in here. Bad Company gonna take the point.
Really great stuff from Bad Company, using that Diva Bomb combo really effectively. Of course, the Diva Bomb didn't get that many kills, but they still had that Reinhardt to just swing on in there. And with, you know, really not a whole lot on the board for Freak Squad, it's going to be hard to get back into here unless they can really make use of that shatter. Oh, a shatter!
A sneaky shatter from Friday there. Doesn't manage to catch much, and in fact pays the price with his own life. And now the numbers advantage is in favour of Freak Squad. They are pushing in here, trying to get some kills. We see the Graviton come out. Jigreg manages to get a pick on Danslace there. Picks on both sides. IMJ with another bomb catching. He's there out. Both teams on the point fighting here. We're at 95, 96% in favour of Bad Company. They want to win out here and now. Dreamy putting in that self-destruct. Connects with Static. However, they've lost a number of people already. Oh my god, the Transcendence going straight off the side. Friday taking Mickey for pride there. And point does flip. Wow.
Wow, what a hero play there from Friday. Of course, it didn't end up with them winning the point, but definitely prevented any of that healing from getting to their team. So now, Bad Company, they used so many support ultimates and still didn't win the fight, whereas Kieran, they're about to get their sound barrier. That's going to give them the edge in this next fight, along with this rally.
Because Bad Company flanking all the way around the back, trying to perhaps catch the supports of Freak Squad off guard, but they think better of it, and now they're going back to point to engage more conventionally. They're pushing forward here, using a few of their cooldowns. The cooldowns happy to poke here, try it to charge up some of their ultimates. let those Zarya bubbles reset. Both teams just jockeying for position around this corner, trying to avoid some of the incoming damage from the other team here. And again, another rotation from Bad Company. They are caught in a Graviton now. I think both grabs come out. And now we get the sound barrier as well from Kieran, just giving his team that bit of extra sustain. A sound barrier in return, though, from Heli Jelly, managing to use that afterwards as well, keeping shields on her own team there. And both teams just fighting it out on the point. We see the Shatter come. Well, absolute brawl on the point. It's 99% to 99%. Both teams really want this. Both teams having to win out to take this first map away. But it looks like it's going in the direction of Freak Squad here. And they will take the 1-0 on Busan.
Wow, what a turnaround. We are going to see a late stall here from Jigreg and the Diva for Bad Company, but I don't think it's going to be enough as his Graviton Surge comes out. And there you go. This overtime meter is running out pretty soon here.
Yeah, that was a pretty good stall at the end, but unfortunately on control maps like that, if you're forced to come in one by one, you're just going to get picked off, especially at this level.
Right. Now, that was really interesting to me. Both teams got to 99%, of course. We did see Freak Squad just edging out a little bit there to get to that 100%. But just shows that these two teams are really neck and neck. We are in for a great series right now. It's going to be real close. But we're moving on to Mecha Base. And Mecha Base, another one of those maps where the map geometry is really interesting. Sometimes team fights appear on the high ground and then it moves on to the point. I'm curious to see where these teams are going to end up clashing, and you know, if one team's going to try and take possession of the point. Both teams running similar compositions, except Dreamy has the Mei. That's going to be an interesting pick. Keep your eyes on how they're using the walls.
Well, there the wall comes out. Doesn't get much value from it. In fact, both teams just getting in each other's faces. Dreamy, though, finished off Dan Slays early. Great early advantage here for Bad Company, and they are pressing that advantage now, pushing forward, trying to wrap this fight up quickly, get some ult charge, and then they're going to get someone on point that is just unlocked.
I actually think that Mei was working spectacularly for Bad Company. I mean, it started with separating Dan Slays from the rest of their team, and then after that, they used the wall to make sure they couldn't retreat. And yeah, really great stuff from Dreamy.
And now both teams are trying to catch some of the team off guard with that wall, separate them. Doesn't manage to yet. They come through with a shatter there from Friday. Friday's been catching the other team here, catching Freak Squad with those sneaky shatters all match long. And look at this aggression here from Bad Company.
I love this. I love this so much right now. They're pushing them all the way to their spawn room. Definitely not letting up at all, showing that aggression. And look at the ultimates that are coming online for Bad Company. They're going to have that grab. They're starting off with a rally, but they got to get on the point.
And the Graviton does come out now. No real kills as yet. As I say that, look at that. It is all Bad Company going to be able to flip that.
Yeah, Bad Company, again, making good use of the ultimates they had. They started with a rally, used the grab, and that was really all they needed. They got to keep 2 support ultimates, and they're coming up on a shatter again. Freak Squad, they are going to have a grab themselves, but they got to find a way to get back in here.
Yeah, already at 60% in favor of Bad Company. They're going to be happy with that. And look at that wall, it's just separate. IMJ off from the rest of his team. Uses self-destruct. Gets 3 with it as well! That is fantastic. Does pay for it with his life, but that could be the opportunity that Freak Squad need, and they are pushing in with the Transcendence now, trying to get some more kills. But Dreamy manages to get Kieran early on, so it's pretty even so far. Friday is on the point here, I think, just trying to stall it out a little bit, but not going to be able to live for long.
Wow, what a hero play from Jay right there. You know, they got caught out of position by the Maywall focus down, but then a beautiful bomb. There was just nowhere for the enemy to hide. So great stuff there. Oh, but the team has been separated by this Maywall.
Yeah, oh my god, Dan Slays coming down with the shot to try and buy some space. That doesn't really connect with too much. But he's pushing in, the Graviton is out. It has caught Bad Company in there, but they are able just to press ahead. Friday swinging away, getting the early pick there onto his opposite number. They're pushing forward now as well, trying to get some more picks here. They corner Static. Static does fall. Bad Company back on the point. Looking to flip this. They're already at 85%. They want to flip this now. Mickey's saying no, though. Picks off his opposite number with his orbs of destruction there. However, look at this. The whole of Bad Company on the point. They're going to be able to flip this. We've got maybe one more fight left.
Maybe one more. And you know what? The May is really working very interesting right now because it's forcing Freak Squad to play at like an uneven rate. It's making them play to Bad Company's tempo. And now with 97%, Freak Squad, they found a kill on the Dreamy.
They do, and they're pushing in with the Transcendence as well. This could be what they need. As I say that, though, look at that. Friday gets to pick on IMJ. Kieran's fallen as well. Friday's in the kill feed again. Friday's in this kill feed all week long, and they're going to be able to even this up. Bad Company going to make this 1-1. We're going to a third map here.
Yes, we are, and I'm super excited about that because this is good stuff right now. I really like the way that May really disrupted the way Freak Squad wanted to play. You could see that, you know, when they wanted to get aggressive, they really couldn't because there was always that fear that May wall is going to come up, separate whoever is getting a little bit too ahead of themselves, and then it's all over. The rest of Bad Company is going to focus you down, take you out. So, really good stuff there from Bad Company. I don't think they're going to try and run that here on Sanctuary, but it does seem out the gate at least that both teams are going to be running mirror compositions. It's that triple tank, triple support.
It is, and Dreamy off that May onto the D.Va here. OMJ still on the D.Va. I love that play last game. That was fantastic. 1v all ongoing. But both teams now moving by the big drum here. Jogging for position around it, just poking out, using their cooldowns, looking for an opportunity to strike here. So expect this fight to go on for a little bit longer. The point will unlock right here, right now, and this is the time where the kill feed starts to liven up a little bit. It is 2 red to 1 blue at the moment. They're already shattered down there for Friday. Back up, you're going to take that point.
Quick aggression coming out here from Bad Company. And look at this. Again, they're pushing Freak Squad all the way to the spawn room, trying to track down Kieran. I love this.
Yeah, you gotta love the aggression there. Because look, they're getting the staggers. Dansley goes down to the charge of Friday there. All the way up to the spawn door. Not only have they unlocked the point, they've staggered the enemy team, and they've got more ult charge themselves.
So now, you know, if you're Bad Company, you're sitting in good position. You got 22% on the board. Freak Squad, they're going to be coming back into this with a shatter and a grab themselves, but, you know, Mez has that Transcendence to protect them.
Grab out already, though, from Jigresh, forcing the Transcendence from Mickey, trying to keep the rest of Freak Squad alive, and the shatters there going out. A pin there on Friday from Dan Slays there. Doesn't manage to finish Friday off though. We see sound barriers coming out from both sides wanting to win out here. Now we see the shatter in return come out from Friday. The real value there again, nothing on the kill feed so far. As I say that though, Friday managed to kill Dan Slays. It's now a 6v5. The rest of Bad Company smell some blood here. They want to chase all the way back to spawn again. Friday with another charge because Mr. Georgia, I don't think he has. And they're going to pull back a little bit now.
Oh my word. Friday is a scary Reinhardt to go up against. Really great stuff. Really impressed with how Mez was able to save that Transcendence for the grab, keep their team alive. Definitely gave them the edge there. They're already up close to another Transcendence, but here's another grab.
Just grab out every single fight. We see the self-destruct. Can it catch anything? Yes. Take the Friday getting Dan Slays again. 86%. That might just be one more fight left in this game.
Ooh, a bit of a misplay there from the Brigida Static. They seem to be facing the wrong way. They were trying to protect from a shatter. Oh my goodness, Dan Slayer.
Oh my god, there's a shatter in return. They can't even get to point here. Wow, what a dominant showing on that third map there. Something just seemed to happen for Bad Company. They really turned the tempo up.
Yeah, they definitely had the momentum. They took that map win off of Mecha Base, and they decided they were just going to run with that tempo, keep it up. Of course, not running the May on Sanctuary, but still having that same intensity. And nice little play of the game here from Jay. Definitely deserved, but wow, we are in for a series here.
We are indeed, and there's some good players on both sides. I mean, as I said, I love that play from Jay, where he just cornered off. And he's going to die. He's like, you know what? I'm going to press Q. And you just saw the members of Bad Company there just looking at this bomb going, oh, well, guess we die. You know, you don't get to see that very often. But we're going to be going to the next map. And the choice will be for the losing team here. So Freak Squad. Well, is there any particular map you'd be thinking of picking right now out of the two? We've got, Dorado or Route 66. Any you'd prefer given what you've seen so far?
It could really go either way. So far what we've seen is a lot of the triple tank, triple support, which, as I was saying in the pre-show a little bit, is something that I think is a little more strong on Dorado than Route 66. Route 66 kind of lends itself to different compositions that really we've seen Bad Company running the May, which is a little bit different. So maybe Freak Squad, they want to run that more static triple tank, triple support, but I think either way, it could go either way. It does look like, though, the teams want to run Route 66.
They do indeed. So we can see some interesting compositions, especially from defense. So I've seen a few. We've seen quad DPS. That's a famous one that everyone's talking about now. You can come from lots of different angles, charge up your DPS ults pretty quickly, especially if the enemy's running a heavy composition. But we've also seen like May bunker strats using the terrain to their advantage, using that little corridor hallway. I'm not quite sure what you call it, going through the mountain, the little mine shaft. And we've seen that. And sometimes you see quad tank hold them at the door. There's so many options.
Right. Yeah. This is a map where we could see a lot of different creative strategies being run here. Sometimes, teams have even utilized that strategy where you the icicle strategy, ice block. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's where you hold up in the tunnel where that mega is right next to the card as you're getting started. And if you're the defenders, you hang out in that little tunnel, you put up a May wall, and you just kind of hang out there and prevent the payload from moving. Kind of a cheeky play, but sometimes it works out and helps them. But to start off, it's going to be Freak Squad in the blue on the defense. And, the sides have actually flipped. That's important to note. So now Freak Squad is actually in the red. Bad Company is in the blue. And so Bad Company are going to be on the defense. And they're running the triple tank, triple support that we saw them running through most of Busan.
I'm just happy Friday is still on that Reinhardt. He's been impressing me so much this match. He's gone for the cheeky shatters. He's been very aggressive, but his team have enabled him to be aggressive as well. So you've got to give it to them. But they're going to have to defend now, and it looks like they're going to go for this early defense. They're hiding.
Speaking of aggression, look at this.
Yeah, in the train, jumping out straight on to their enemy here, looking to get some early picks, hold up this cart, get another team fight. Dreamy is the first to get a kill onto Static. That could be important, as the rest of Bad Company have to back up into spawn.
So, what Bad Company just did there is kind of a risky play, because, you risk giving a lot of ult charge to the enemy if you lose that engagement, but by taking out Static, they gave themselves the edge.
But look at this, Freaks were already on the attack here. Great shatter there from Dan Slays. Wins out early on this one, and the rest of his team are getting a lot of ultimate charge from that as well.
What a shatter from Dan Slays, showing that Friday isn't the only Reinhardt here who can make the big plays. Great stuff. And especially after just, losing that initial team fight, losing Static early on, a nice response to that. So now Bad Company, they're going to be on top of Earls to start off as this payload is starting to progress through this first part of the map.
Yeah, they've taken that high ground, but they're not going to be on it for long as they're down onto the payload with the sound barrier as well. They want to get aggressive, use this heavy competition to get a few picks, charge up their own ultimates, but they're caught in the ground zone. We see the self-destruct come out as well. Doesn't manage to catch much, but that shatter certainly does. Dan Slay's coming out and slaying everything. Great main tank play so far, but Friday managed to actually get a pick onto Dan Slays there. This could be a turning point in this fight. Both sides are pretty even at the moment. We see the sound barrier coming out from Kieran, though, which is allowing Freak Squad to get aggressive here. And they're pushing in, but they are caught again in this Graviton. And they're getting the kills, though. Graviton didn't seem to do much there.
So, we saw Helly Jelly use that initial sound barrier to get aggressive, but it ended up not working out for them in the end because then they didn't really have anything to protect themselves when it came to, some of the plays that Freak Squad were making there, the aggression that we saw Freak Squad countering there. So really nice stuff from Freak Squad, countering that aggression and punishing the early sound barriers. So now getting back into this, Freak Squad, in order to progress through the rest of this map, they're going to have that Graviton Surge. They could use that early on here, as Bad Company 2 are starting to get aggressive.
They are indeed. They want to stop this car early on second so they get another chance to contest. They're going in. Shatter coming down from Friday. A little bit of damage that Shatter does slip off that. So they're pushing forward with the Transcendence of Mez there, getting the kills, and this is exactly what they want.
Exactly what you want, because not only did they win that basically off the back of just the Shatter, they also forced out a Graviton Surge out of Freak Squad that got really no value, and those Gravitons are so important. But take a look at where Freak Squad or Bad Company is right now. Freak Squad might not know.
But they've been found out, and the Shatter now comes down from down. They managed to connect. I think the shield was just in time from Friday there. Both Reinhardt's charging into each other. We see the Fight doesn't manage to catch much. Ink with the shield up just in time. Both teams fighting out, but it is Jigredge who gets the first kill here, and that could be very important. Mez gets the second. Defense pushing up, getting aggressive here, wanting to chase the opposing team all the way back to spawn.
And this is the second time that Dan Slays has fallen very early in these team fights here on Route 66. That's something to keep an eye out for, because, you know, if you are, trying to play this composition correctly, you need to keep that Reinhardt alive.
You do indeed. And speaking of Reinhardt's, there's another Shatter there. That's Jigredge. Just every single fight, the first pick is in favor of the defense here, in favor of Bad Company, and then they can get aggressive because they know they have the advantage.
And I love this. The aggression we're seeing from Bad Company. Really, Freak Squad needs to start punishing that a little bit more. Use their disengages a little bit more effectively, and wait for some of those cooldowns to be forced out of Bad Company, and then start moving in. But Bad Company, they have a couple of ultimates to continue holding here.
Yeah, so long as they've got ults in the bank, they're going to continue holding it. So long as they're alive, they are caught in a Graviton, but the Transcendence from Mez just keeping them up here. Now there's a grab in response to the self-destruct as well, but look at the kill feed. Finally, something is happening now for Freak Squad. They're able to push forward. They've got the numbers advantage. They just got to kill Eddie Jelly here, who he's on this Lucio just riding around. They finally get him, and payload is.
But look at how much time has been shaved off the clock. There's only a minute 35 seconds to push it to that next checkpoint. Bad Company certainly had a very strong hold. So it wouldn't surprise me now if Bad Company decided to get aggressive off the back of an early rally for Ink. That's something we like to do, and there we see it right now.
You called it, and they are getting it. They're getting it. They want to take off. They want to win out here, start getting that payload moving backwards, and they might be able to do so because Dan Slays goes down to Dreamy there. And now look at this. Look how aggressive Friday is getting there. From his Zara, he's coming in. He's coming with the shot. Block there. Just manages to connect with the Lucio, but look at the kill feed there. They're able to stop this, and even if they lose the next fight, they might be able to get a recontest it.
And that's part of the strength of using that rally aggressively, right? You get Ink there to armor everyone up, push in, and while all that armor is stacking on top of itself, you just push right into the face of the enemy. They don't have as much armor, and the damage is not able to be mitigated as easily for that team. So now we're seeing Free Squad do the same exact thing. Let's see if it works out for them.
Yeah, they're coming in aggressive, using the cover of the little house in the middle. They've come down. Both teams, it's an absolute. We got grabs coming out both sides here, and IMJ connects with the self-destruct, gets a 2K and a D-Mech onto Dreamy as well. This is huge. I don't think they might be able to get another contest here. Maybe not with a team kill like that. Maybe not.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Maybe if some members of Freak Squad get aggressive, hold out at that choke, it might be hard, but it's going to be Friday charging on in.
Friday, such an aggressive Reinhardt, wants to contest it, and they do get a contest at the end. It is in overtime as well. If they manage to win out here, they could stop this cop from moving on to third point. But look at this, Dan Slays, Mickey, IMJ, all in the kill feed here. Freak Squad getting the kills they need, and that was a risky contest, but could have worked out.
A risky contest. And, I always appreciate a good aggressive Reinhardt. I really do. But yeah, you run the risk of giving the enemy a lot of ult charge. If things don't pan out, you basically are, putting 600 health into the enemy's ultimate pool. And they also invested a shatter from Friday and got nothing for it. So that's a pretty big loss for Bad Company. And Freak Squad, they have a bomb, they have the rally, they could get aggressive here.
Bad Company getting aggressive though around that corner, straight into the rally of Static, keeping a Freak Squad topped up with armor, and Gigrich just using the bubble to pull back a bit, get out of danger, having to wait for that to reset. Both teams here on the corner looking for an opportunity. Self-destruct comes out from IMJ, doesn't catch much, but Mickey catches Gigrich in the face with his orbs there, right against Gigrich. But this is absolutely crazy. We're seeing the Transcendence from Ez as well, keeping the sustain up. Oh, we see the Shatter now coming out as well from Dan Slays. This is exactly what Freak Squad need. They're getting the kills they need, and it's actually better for them, I think, to get those sort of stagger kills in order, because it holds up the defense.
And, it's worth noting that now Friday has had 2 shatters that have really not had much impact, whereas Dan Slays really helped win out that fight. But here comes a grab. I believe it was just Eden.
It was indeed by IMJ. Great positioning there. Both teams just duking it out on point here. Gigrich gets to pick off Dan Slays. This could be huge. Now we see a shatter coming out from Friday. He must have heard you. He's going, I'm going to connect with that. I'm going to say this at the last minute. We are in overtime now as well. Freak Squad need to keep someone on point. However, there's an entire enemy team on point stopping them here. Mickey doing a good job getting some kills there. Getting 2 kills. Managing to use the Transcendence as well, but he's all alone. Dan Slays is getting back. Got a bit of that healing from the Transcendence. However, look at this. We've got Mickey having to back off from the point. So much pressure coming out from Dreamy there. Doesn't manage to touch. And a great comeback at the very, very end there. Bad Company.
It was. For a second there, I thought Mickey might have been Jonak there for a second. You're finding some kills using that Transcendence at the end. I love it. But in the end, we do see Bad Company holding strong, not allowing that 3rd checkpoint to be taken by Freak Squad. So now Bad Company, they basically have to complete the map in order to win it out and go up 2 in the series.
Yeah, I know what, I'm loving the play from both Zenyatas here. We just saw Mickey pop off a bit, but if you look at the kill feed, when the Zenyatas are in it, you tend to get that little red mark, which means they're hitting their headshots, and they're also getting a Transcendence every single fight. So, yeah, it's making the fights go on a little bit longer, but both Zenyatas doing their job and doing it well.
Exactly, and it's such a crucial hero. Supports, they definitely don't get enough attention or really the recognition that they deserve, but you need those support ultimates to stay alive during those grabs, those shatters. And they're so important for sustaining your team, and sustainability is what the GOATS composition is all about, right? You have those big tanks that you have to keep alive for them to get that ult charge, and then use those crowd control ultimates like your shatters, your grabs, in order to win out the team fights. So support's definitely very important, and we're going to see Freak Squad on the defense. They're holding in that area by the Mega Health Pack. An aggressive hold as well, but maybe not quite as aggressive as Bad Company's.
Maybe not, but we'll see what they do here, because they have the advantage of surprise here. Dreamy's just looking for them. Manages to spot them, firing the rockets down into that little mine shaft there. Dreamy was like, where are they? There they are. I'm going to send some rockets their way, and I love the pharmacy here from the attack.
And Dreamy's already up 30%. That was a good play there from Dreamy, well read, and so now they're going to have a little bit of an ult advantage coming into this fight.
They are indeed. The Discord orb is all over Dreamy. Mickey doing a very good job of putting some pressure on, sending those orbs in. But Dreamy doing a very good job himself of just using that cover, pumping the damage in. Those, other than the Zenyatta and the D.Va, there's not too much that he has to worry about. IMJ flying up, using the defense matrix, trying to stop some of those rockets, but they're managing to stop the cart on this corner, and that is what they want. They want to delay it. They want to build up their own ultimate so that they can use them. Static there now has the rally, uses it early on to top up the rest of the team with armor. Horse using that flail. Friday goes down, and now they're going to get aggressive here because they have the numbers advantage. You see, I see the barrage come out there from Dreamy, catches Static, but Mickey there, straight on Dreamy, manages to finish him off. However, the attackers here with the spawn advantage.
So now we saw Bad Company starting with a quad DPS, single tank, single support, but now they're switching on to the triple tank, triple support, because once you lose out that initial team fight, it's really hard to continue fighting that composition. But now look at this Reinhardt.
Oh, Friday! Oh my gosh! Dan Slays knocked off the edge by Ink there. Kieran with the boot onto Friday as well. Oh, I love seeing the environmental kills all day long. And the defense here seems to be winning out as well.
Wow, Friday is such an aggressive Reinhardt. Starting out that charge, Dan Slays was the one who actually went off the map that time around, but they are coming back with a Shatter and a lot of ultimates online for Freak Squad, and that's part of the risk you run switching compositions after that team fight is you are at a ultimate disadvantage. So Bad Company, they're coming at this with really nothing in the bank to defend against these ultimates.
Yeah, maybe we're going to see a drive push from them here just to force out some ultimates for the defenders so they can go again on more equal terms. But the Shatter comes down from Dan Slays. Great shielding from Friday, though. Doesn't manage to connect with that Shatter. And now look at this. We see the sound barrier coming out from Helly Jelly. There is a sound barrier in return by Kieran. Graviton is out. Self-destruct is out. It finds two. And the D-Mech. IMJ. Oh, I'm loving IMJ at the moment.
IMJ is definitely coming up clutch with these bombs, but also aided by the Graviton Surge. And, you know, Dan Slays, they actually used a Shatter at the beginning of that, but they almost have another one now. Like, that's just crazy. It's really great stuff from the Reinhardt, just swinging in, getting that ultimate percentage. Friday's going to have their own Shatter as well, but Bad Company's starting with a Rally. Oh, and Rally on the other side as well.
Rallies all day long in this matchup. Both teams are fighting it out, getting aggressive, using that extra off. We see the Shatter though coming down from Dan Slays, it's huge. However, look at that. We see Mez come out with the Transcendence, making sure that his team is not dying here. Nothing in the kill feed yet, but Dreamy changes that with a bomb. That is exactly what Bad Company needed to get this payload.
Oh, Dreamy is trying to steal the spotlight from Jay with these Diva Bombs right now. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And also Mez. Really nice response to the Shatter that came out from Dan's. They, you know, were not phased at all. They kept their team alive through a really nice Shatter from Dan's. And now this card is dangerously close to being capped with the first checkpoint.
Yeah, Freak Squad able to recontest again, and they're going in with a Graviton. Kills him. He keeps trying to. He's on the high ground. We see the Shatter as well come out from Dan Slays. That was absolutely huge. We're getting the self-destruct over the top. IMJ with a 2K as well. What is this? What is this? They managed to stop the car meters, just feet away from the endpoint there. Freak Squad wins. I'm so hyped about watching the rest of this matchup already.
Wow. Great stuff. We're going to see a Shatter here from Dan Slays. I'm really impressed with that last Shatter, though. But this was big. This... That was a nice response because, you know, if you remember, right, that this map started with an early pick onto Static, and then immediately Freak Squad was sent back to the spawn. That was the response, Shatter. But really great stuff from Freak Squad. A full hold there on Route 66 to answer Bad Company's, you know, defensive hold where they didn't allow Freak Squad to cap that third checkpoint, but. Wow, this could go the distance.
I think it can because Bad Company looks so strong on that defense, right? Like so strong. I was thinking, Freak Squad are going to have a hard time, and then they just came out and just proved me wrong there. I mean, look at that. That was crazy,
yeah.
But new map.
And again, right, and again, I do want to highlight that I do believe part of what gave Freak Squad the edge there is that they started with the triple tank, triple support, whereas Bad Company, they tried to get creative. They tried to use that quad DPS, which we've seen work out. It's definitely something that can work, but the problem is it needs to work the first time. You need to really get the value out of that composition and start snowballing it. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back to spawn. You're going to have to switch all your characters back to that triple tank, triple support. You're going to be at an ultimate disadvantage. And the enemy, you know, if they are able to have discipline with their ultimate picks or their ultimates, they're going to have an easier time.
They are indeed. Speaking of easier times, it is the loser of the match that picks the next map. And it looks like they've gone with Hanamura here. Interesting choice. They had a choice between Hanamura and Volskaya. Any particular thoughts you have on that?
So, Hanamura, it is a map where, again, you can run some different compositions. We've seen in the past the treehouse sort of composition where you have that Orisa, sometimes a Bastion. It's not as popular, but certainly something you could run. And Bad Company, since they seem to like to run the more unconventional compositions, if you will, that might have been why they decided to go with Hanamura. I feel like with Volskaya, you tend to pretty much run static triple tank, triple support. Although you see a little more Winston than the Reinhardt, it's still goats essentially. Hanamura, you can get a little more creative. You can run some different things here. But it does look like Bad Company are going to be on the attack, whereas Freak Squad are going to be on the defense to start. And Freak Squad, they're running that triple tank, triple support.
Oh, they are indeed. They've got to be pretty happy with that. But look at this. We've got Friday on the Sombra. I think we're going to see some scouting Sombra here. I don't think their star tank player is going to be sticking on that Sombra for too long. But Sombra great at scouting, getting some information before you move out, before you decide on your position.
Although that would be some great flexibility in your character pool if you were able to play main tank and a really good Sombra. I mean, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, likely we're going to see some scouting just coming out from Friday, seeing what the enemy is going to be running, informing their decisions of what they'll counter it with. So they've seen that Freak Squad are running the triple tank, triple support. We're going to see Bad Company running the same exact composition. So it all comes down to who can run it better.
Who can run it better, and who can use the terrain to their advantage here. I think defenders maybe with a little bit of an advantage, but the attackers choose when they go in, right? So both sides here using their cooldowns, using their Zarya bubbles, and then you see the Zaryas back off, get a little bit more passive, waiting for the cooldowns to come up. And this is the opportunity, this is the time that the attackers want to come through. And they've managed to rotate. This is quite a popular route because you avoid a lot of spam damage going over here. Yeah, you got to cross that little bridge bit, but you got a Reinhardt shield. You can just move across, just as they're doing now. And then you can choose when you want to engage on point. So they're about to do that, maybe? They're just waiting for their cooldowns, I assume. Maybe.
Just waiting for the cooldowns. They're going to be jumping in here in a second, making Freak Squad second guess where exactly they're coming from.
And they're coming straight down mid here. Looking to get some kills. Oh, we see the shatter coming out. Callum as well. Look at that kill feed. Fantastic Zarya play there.
You know, it was a flashy play, but not necessarily a good one because Dan Slays used their Shatter and Callum used a Grab. That's really dicey. They're not going to have that second crowd control ultimate for the next fight, whereas Bad Company, they're going to have both online now. So this is definitely a huge opportunity for Bad Company. They need to capitalize.
Bad Company almost going to have a full ult bank here, and they are going to engage with the sound barrier of Hellish. Pushing forward for that extra shielding, that extra sustain. Now they're pushing in with the rally. Great stacking of support ults here. Both teams fighting it out. We see the self-destruct come in, doesn't catch much. We see the shatter, not really catching much either, but the grab certainly does. Now we see the self-destruct doesn't connect. Friday, in fact, managed to get Vicky though. Static falls as well. But Dan stays with an epic shatter. That could have just saved the defense. Managing to charge Mess into the wall. Kill feed all blue at the moment, and that was a clutch shatter if I've ever seen.
What? Oh, wow. I am blown away. Really great stuff from Dan Slays. Of course, they did fall late at the end there as they were trying to track down the remaining members of Bad Company. That's huge. There's no main tank now for Freak Squad to defend.
No, they choose very wisely to back up here. I mean, they can afford to give up 1 or 2 ticks, so long as they come back together as a team. They just want to win out on the next team fight. They do have Callum's grab here. It comes out. It catches Ink. Can anyone kill Ink? Yes, Callum does. Now they're pushing in with the full force of their team and the rally as well. Yes, Dan Slays falls again, but it does not matter. They're going to be able to hold on. They only gave up 1 tick as well.
Wow. Bad Company, they really need to start capitalizing on these mistakes that Freak Squad are making. I mean, they had an opportunity to really push in, take out members of Freak Squad because there was no main tank to defend them, but they couldn't do it. And so now Bad Company, they're going to have a grab to work with. They could get aggressive with an early rally. Freak Squad, though, they're going to have a Shatter, and we've seen Dansley win these fights off the back of Shatters alone.
And Moti's getting aggressive here, wanting to win out. Callum picking off Mez, that could be huge. If you're on the attack here, you've got to make a decision, and I think they made the right one. They get back up.
Yeah, good disengage. They're going to wait for Mez. Mez has that Transcendence. They're going to have 2 support ultimates online. No Graviton Surge yet for Freak Squad, but again, Danslays has the Shatter, so we're going to need to see some support ultimates to defend them.
And now we see the Graviton come out, but it is eaten by IMJ. That is counter grab there as well. We've got 2 sub. Junior Reg there, the other doesn't connect. And now look at this, they've got the Transcendence from Mickey. The defending team here just able to out-sustain Bad Company. Ink in the corner, all alone, just a lone Lucio left. Heli J's trying to stay alive, keep the dream alive. It's in overtime though, and they only managed to get 1 tick.
Well, 1 tick can still win you the map if you're able to full hold, though. The enemy team needs to grab at least that 1 tick. So, Bad Company, they're not out of this entirely just yet, but they're definitely going to need to correct some of the mistakes that they were making there. I mean, they had so many opportunities to really capitalize and take that first point, but they just couldn't bring it together. They couldn't make the plays happen.
Both, as you said, both teams now swapping sides. You still got to win out. You know, they could full hold here. It's going to be interesting to see what composition Bad Company go with on this defense. Do they go for a Goats composition, something they're comfortable with? Or do they just go crazy and go maybe Sim, Bastion, Orisa, take that high ground? Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, and especially with Bad Company being as flexible as they appear to be, we could see some different stuff. And already, we're seeing Dreamy on the Mei. We saw that work out really well for them on Mecha Base Busan. I'm curious to see if it's going to work out for them again, because with Mei, you can use those Mei walls to block off that choke. You can use it to siphon off a member or 2 of the attacking team from the rest of their healing and their resources. So definitely an opportunity here for Bad Company to full hold. They're definitely not out of this just yet.
Certainly not. And let's see if Dreamy can be the nightmare of Freak Squad here. Freak Squad pushing out Mickey on the Sombra as well. Some more scouting. I like the scouting from the side.
Yeah, definitely a smart move. You want to know how you're going to be attacking point. Mickey's going to see this. I wonder if they've seen the Mei. I would assume they have, but yeah, they likely have. But now, Freak Squad, they're going to be getting into here. Let's see how they approach it. They do force the Mei wall out early. That's huge.
That is, because now they can push through uncontested. They do not have to worry about that Mei wall. They're going forward. But Danslays falls to Ink. They're going to have to back off and reset.
Right, yeah, that's just going to be backing right on out of there. But a nice follow-up from the rest of Bad Company, just getting that extra ultimate percentage. The team kill bell goes off. Very nicely done. So now Bad Company, Friday already has a Shatter. Danslays is only to 30%. That is a huge difference and could help them snowball. But, gotta watch out for the walls. Dreamy with the walls. We'll see how Freak Squad is able to force them out.
And, very, very good play there from IMJ. Going forward, using those boosters to bait out the wall. And now the rest of them are coming through. But Friday's waiting there. They're pushing forward. Bad Company getting the kills. Loving the charge there from Friday as well. Such an aggressive Reinhardt. And just willing to go for those crazy plays.
Really great stuff. What a fantastic hiding space behind that door. Freak Squad definitely weren't ready for it. They thought they were in the clear, getting up onto that high ground. Same rotation we saw Bad Company attempt early on in the map, but not working out for them that time. Bad Company have a grab as well. We could see that pop pretty early on.
Yeah, they're starting off with a rally, as you usually do in these sorts of situations. And now the grab is coming out, as you said, for the Transcendence in return from Mickey. Keeping the rest of Freak Squad alive, and they're using that extra healing to push forward. They've got a grab of their own, but Friday was waiting with the Shatter to try and slow that down. Ink gets big onto his opposite number there, and all the kills going the way of the defense once more.
really nice response from Friday there. They even had the May wall just to make sure that that extra damage wasn't going to be coming into the grab. So Bad Company are playing this composition really effectively. Of course, Dreamy, they're using their walls maybe a little bit too early. They got to know that Jay is cognizant of them with that May wall, and they're kind of trying to bait it out. But they're a little more cognizant. Yep, there we go.
I love that. Dreamy, as you said, just waited. So I'm not going to be baited another time. Once for you, but look at this. The chance is coming out. Oh, I need to drop the wall. Doesn't matter. Friday charging static into that wall. Now the defense can get aggressive, get some kills there. Danslay's taking out Ink. That could be huge with the attacker's spawn advantage, but Danslay's himself dies a little later than possibly he should have done.
And crucially, Static had just popped the rally right as they got charged into that May wall. That's a really huge play. Freak Squad are not going to have that rally to get aggressive with. Of course, Bad Company, they're still waiting on their Brigida to come back from spawn as well, though.
And OMJ there tries to bait out, doesn't. The wall separating the rest. We see the grab come out. Self-destruct, though, from OMJ. Catches Sugar Edge there. Kills on both sides, and now the attacking team moving forward with the Transcendence of Mickey. Callum as well, pushing forward, getting those kills. And look at this, they only need to get past one tick. And nearly a second tick here, but I don't think any of Bad Company are going to be able to get back.
I don't think so either. This is going to go Freak Squad's way. Really nicely done. Bad Company, they played that composition pretty well, but it just came to a couple misplays at the end there. Losing their Brigida when they were trying to get aggressive at the end of that team fight really cost them. That was something similar we saw on their attacking or on their defensive run. They would get a little too aggressive. Here's a nice play of the game from Callum. Definitely deserved here. Look at that high charge there, kills, but a little wave at the end there. Hello. So nicely done there from Freak Squad. They're going to go up 2-1 in the series, but this is still very close. I could still see this going either way. Bad Company, they definitely have the skills and the flexibility and some different team compositions that can throw Freak Squad off a little bit. But for now, Freak Squad is responding well. Yeah,
both teams doing very, very well. Yet neither team got to second point on Hanamura there, and it was a tick and a bit, nearly 2 ticks for the sake of argument there that Freak Squad needs to get. But it was so close. It was the last fight. That could have gone completely differently. So the scoreline here, it's 2-1. If that had been a draw, I know it couldn't have been with the ticks, etc. Had that been a draw, I would not be surprised. And you know what? I think, are we going to Blizzard World?
We are. I believe that is the case. Blizzard World. I'm excited. And also, crucially, we're going to see a substitution. Turtle is coming in for Danslays. Danslays, of course, the Reinhardt for Freak Squad, has made a lot of really great plays on that particular hero. But now with Turtle in the mix, I'm wondering how that's going to change up how Freak Squad approaches this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I assume Turtle is another main tank here. Might not be. They might be switching up their composition quite a bit. Who knows? But Turtle's got a lot to live up to because Danslays was doing so well on that Reinhardt. And Turtle, if he is playing main tank, is going to come up against Friday, who's just been crazy all series. I think what Freak Squad are going to need to start doing is going, oh, their Reinhardt isn't there. I wonder where he could be because Friday got some of those back shatters a few too many times in this series, in my opinion.
Right. They got some tricks up their sleeve. That's for sure. They are tricky. So that's going to be something that Turtle or whoever ends up picking up the main tank role for Freak Squad is going to have to keep an eye on. So Blizzard World, it is a hybrid map, so you have to cap that first checkpoint or control point, I suppose, before you can move on to the payload portion of the map, right? So with Freak Squad on the defense, it does look like they're running the pretty standard triple tank, triple support. So I'm kind of curious on why they've swapped out Turtle for Dansley.
Yeah, they might just want to give another member of their team some playtime in open division. Maybe they had this planned in advance. You just don't know. Maybe Danslays couldn't stay for the whole period, but Danslays did such a good job already. I think his team are going to be pleased with that. Now, Turtle's got a lot to live up to, so it's going to be interesting to perhaps compare the two.
Well, we're getting into this right now. Again, Freak Squad with the triple tank, triple support, kind of just holding on the point for now. Not a bad area to hold with this particular composition. On the other side, Bad Company, look at this. They're running the quad DPS again with Friday on the Wrecking Ball, Mez on the Mercies. So I'm really curious to see if it's going to work out this time.
Yeah, Friday does go down to static though. Haven't seen him on the Wrecking Ball too much yet, certainly just for a few seconds there. Trying to cause some disruption, just caught out, but still got that quad DPS, and Dreamy evens this up by killing static there, so Dreamy gets a 2k actually. This is the beauty of quad DPS, you can just continue to poke, continue to kill, you don't have to just completely disengage here. And Friday's already back on that Wrecking Ball, on point with the rest of his team. And look at this same cornered Turtle there. Turtle having to go back into his shell almost. He's totally turtling, and he gets killed by Heli Jelly. And what a great first push with this quad DPS setup.
Yeah, so it didn't work out on Route 66, but here we see it work out on Blizzard World. And again, a lot of that was off the back of Dreamy getting those initial picks on the Brigitte and the Zen, I believe it was. So really nice stuff. I think we're going to possibly see some switches. It doesn't look like that's actually the case. We're going to see Friday going on to the Reinhardt, but still sticking with this quad DPS. Maybe they're trying to use out some of those ultimates before they make the switches, just so that value is not lost.
Yeah, I mean, some of those ultimates could be huge here. If they get a few early picks, they might be able to just get this cart moving. We see the Dragon Strike doesn't manage to catch too much. Mez there with the Valkyrie, allowing her team to get a little bit more aggressive, do a little bit more damage as well. That is important for them to charge back up their ultimates. Dreamy already has the barrage here. Jiggerage is going to have the walls as well, which is going to give the attacking team here a lot of information.
Also, Turtle switch onto the Winston. They're diving into the background right now, but a rally is coming up for static.
Jiggerage, so with a headshot onto Kieran. Now we see the barrage comes out, but Dreamy is shut down by Mickey. Mickey done such a good job shutting down Varus, ulting Varus this entire series.
Mickey has been doing an incredible job. Yeah, here comes a visor from Heli Jelly early on, fending off any sort of spawn camp we might see from Freak Squad. I'm assuming they're going to switch off because it looks like Bad Company want to run that triple tank, triple support, get back onto this payload and start butting heads with the other goats comp.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine waiting to use those DPS ults, but as I said, when you're in that position, you just use them, get back to spawn, switch off to the composition that you need, and they are back on point now, brawling it out here with Freak Squad, and Freak Squad, they're coming in with the combo with the self-destruct, it catches two! OMJ there with the T-Mech as well, 2.5, Callum pushing forward. You gotta love those combos.
Oh, I do. I really enjoy seeing the kill feed light up that way. Really nice stuff there from Freak Squad. And of course, this is the problem with running the quad DPS early on and then having to switch. We saw the same sort of thing happen on Route 66. And now, Kieran finding a late boop onto Dreamy. Oh no. But
I hate to see it, or you love. I personally, I love to see environment.
I do too. But again, Freak Squad, they have the ultimate advantage. They can keep stalling this out here, and they're going to have that advantage over Bad Company, who are going to be trying to get back into this.
Yeah, Freak Squad just need to win out on Blizzard. Well, and this is it. They take the W. So they've got to be pretty confident here, and they're moving in with confidence. Callum, very high charge there, pushing forward. Friday, his shield is just taking such a battering in every fight, but now he doesn't need to use his shield because he has the transcendence of Mez there. They're able to push forward here. However, they're running into the sound barrier of Kieran as well, and Mickey has his own transcendence up his sleeve, so both teams just trying to get a pick, get the advantage, and the Graviton there catching Bad Company in it. You see Turtle getting the cleave into the entire enemy team there, but Dreamy gets the pick onto Static. This could be huge. It is now a 6v5, and Bad Company can smell the victory in this particular fight here. They want to get in, they want to get those kills. Turtle though, using that Primal Rage just to delay. If they can delay this and take a second fight, win the second fight, they might be able to win out here. But Friday and Mez getting the picks that they need themselves, and the whole of Bad Company here pushing forward, getting aggressive. Now they're backing up to Payton.
And the problem with that particular Primal Rage was that they really didn't get a whole lot accomplished, and they just, you know, put a lot of ultimate charge into the enemy. Turtle did switch onto the Reinhardt, and we're seeing a grab.
Oh, he needs to turn around with that shield. He does so just at the right time. We see both Transcendences come out as well. Another self-destruct doesn't catch much, but the shatter there. from Friday. Gets a few on their back, but too little, too late. The defense is stabilized.
And again, that spawn advantage for Freak Squad really coming into play there. We're going to see the rest of Freak Squad just stall out and get a late stagger onto Dreamy. Always hurts to see the baby divas get staggered out like that. But just part of it. Freak Squad coming into the next fight, they're gonna have a Shatter. So Turtle, they had just swapped onto that Reinhardt. They already have a Shatter online. Kieran's gonna have the Sound Barrier, Static with the Rally, so they have quite a few ultimates to keep on holding out here, whereas Bad Company, not a whole lot to work with. They do have a Sound Barrier coming up soon, but that's not a whole lot.
This could be last fight, depending on how long he goes in for. But Turtle with the Shatter there, swing as well. But a great Sound Barrier there from Helly Jelly, just saving Mez and the rest of the team there. They're pushing in as well. Both teams fighting it out on the high ground. The Helly Jelly doing a good job getting behind Turtle, killing Turtle there as well. It's a 6v5. And now Ink putting a lot of pressure on Callum as well. But Ink alone having to fight another Brigitte here. In the meantime, IMJ has been demixed. Static and Mickey supports getting kills as well. Huge for the defense. There's only 17 seconds left. Mickey with the Transcendence now as well, keeping the rest of the defense alive. 10 seconds left on the clock. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get back and truly contest this point. There's only 3, maybe 4 members now of Bad Company back, but Ink back now on the Wrecking Ball, able to touch. It is an overtime. They need to keep someone on the point, but there's a Graviton Surge there. They just managed to touch point, but a little bit too little too late. Turtle, Mickey, and IMJ lining up that kill feed. And, oh my god, look at this. It's crazy. Friday gets the kill of Mickey, but Helly Jelly just trying to keep the dream alive. A great job there. Freak Squad stopping that payload there.
Yeah, really nice stuff, and it's worth noting that IMJ actually ate a Graviton from Jigreg right near the end there. That could have gave Bad Company a little bit of an edge, could have given them a way to get back into the fight. Didn't work out. You saw Friday trying to get a nice little behind the back shatter on the team. Didn't really pan out. It was like you said, too little too late, and now Bad Company, if they want to keep their hopes alive in this contest between Freak Squad and Bad Company, they need to win this map, and it's basically going to have to come down to a full hold on this first point, because we know that through the streets phase it can be generally easier for teams to move through. It wasn't so easy for Bad Company that time, but I do believe the late swaps onto the Ghost composition ended up hurting Bad Company in the end. We'll see how Freak Squad approaches their attack, but for now we can see what Bad Company are going to be rolling out on, and it seems like a little interesting composition. It's 2-2-2 right now. It's going to be Reinhardt, Zarya on the tank line. We're going to have Dreamy on the Pharah again. They were very good on that pick earlier in the map. Jigreg onto the Hanzo. And then 2 main supports. Helly Jelly on the Mercy, so they'll have that rest potential. Mez on the Ana, so they're going to have some nice anti-nades potentially. But what concerns me is they don't have any defensive ultimates. So if something like a Graviton Surge from Callum or a Shatter from Turtle comes out, they're not going to have a whole lot to defend themselves, and they really need to have a good defensive hold on this first point. So Freak Squad, they're running this Ghost composition. This could get dicey.
I could do it, but if this was any other matchup, I'd agree with you, but I think anything could happen here after what we saw on Hanamura. Dreamy just firing those rockets in, happy to get some ultimate charge there, play the poke game with the enemy team. And look at this, I think they're trying to figure out what's going on here, what their attack strategy is going to be.
Yeah, it seems like Turtle wants to switch onto the Winston, maybe to try and get into the backline a little more effectively, pressure those main supports, but looks like it's Mickey who's getting pressured right now.
Dreamy with a very early pick there as well, but not able to pump too much damage in, only at 36% on the way to his ultimate. But look at the ultimates of Freak Squad here, they don't have anything in the back.
Right, yeah, so now Freak Squad, it's a very slow approach right now. Turtle is starting to lead the charge now. Dreamy's got some charge on the side of Bad Company, so we could see an early barrage here if they continue pelting the rockets, and there goes Kieran.
Dreamy with another early pick. the way to barrage. Defense have got to be happy with that. Bad Company got to be happy with that. Friday as well with the Fire Strike just catches Static on the retreat. And Freak Squad are going to need to disengage and regroup.
Really nice stuff from the DPS of Bad Company, but a late kill onto Dreamy, and there's no more res in the bank for Heli Jelly because they just used it on Mez. So Freak Squad, they could get a little aggressive here, but they need to be aware that Dreamy does have the barrage when they come back.
Yeah, Dreamy can get back quite quickly as Farah can also fly the rockets over that little archway. So they're going to need to be quick, and that looks exactly to be what they are doing now. We see Turtle get onto that high ground. Dreamy, though, has already got a kill. Only back for 2 moments. Killed Static once more. Dreamy is the nightmare right now, but IMJ says, no, we're all waking up. Takes Dreamy out of the sky. But look at this. Heli Jelly gets the resurrection again. Dreamy's back up. Mez gets the kill onto Turtle. Mercy's so powerful on defense with that res.
Really great response there from Bad Company. Dreamy, even though they got taken out of the fight early, they still found the first pick in the fight. So really great stuff. They're going to still have their barrage online. Look at the ultimates that are coming up here for Bad Company. 4 on the board. No support ultimates, but again, Freak Squad, they have only just now gone to Graviton Surge. They're going to have that Diva Bomb as well. That's a combo we could see, but Static changed onto the Genji. They're going to be trying to disrupt that healing in the backline of Bad Company.
They're going to have to get through that shatter first. Friday connects. However, there is the Transcendence coming out, but look at this. We see the Dragon combo with the Graviton. Gets the 2k. A lot of ults used on the defense.
Wow, this is shaping up really well for Bad Company right now. The Freak Squad just don't seem to be able to answer it at the moment. Now, of course, Freak Squad, they still do have those ultimates in the back pocket. They have the grab, they have the Diva Bomb, but they need to land it. That is really crucial. So for Bad Company, they're going to want to stay spread out a little bit. They want to make sure that if a grab happens, there's not too many people in it to get caught out.
And they're able to do that with their current setup. We see the dive coming in from Turtle, putting some pressure, forcing the Valkyrie out. Now the grab comes in with self-destruct. Jigridge has fallen, but so has IMJ before IMJ can get back into the mech. And Heli Jelly there with the Mercy Res again, turning the fight in favour of the defenders here. And look at all the ults that have been used by Freak Squad. 5 seconds left on the clock. They're going to need to get someone on point to touch, and it will be Kieran on that Lucio. But Kieran's going to have to stay there. And now we see the Shatter comboed with the Barrage. Dreamy there with the 2k. I think they're going to be able to hold.
Wow, I'm amazed right now. Bad Company having such a strong hold, showing that, sometimes you don't need the triple tank, triple support to win out these maps. Really nicely done. And so now we got a series on our hands, Spaceman. This is exciting.
This is 2-2. I mean, you don't see those very often in open division, especially the games of this level. And this is just so even. I couldn't call it.
Yeah, it really could go either way. A really nice dragon there from Jigridge. Of course, the classic Graviton Surge Hanzo Dragon combo. We've seen it before, but always fun to see it again. So really nice stuff there from Bad Company. And I think towards the end there, one thing that was pretty crucial to point out is that Freak Squad, they had gotten Mez out of the way. So there was no Ana, there was only one support left, and it was the Mercy. But Mercy was virtually untouched in that last team fight. Only until the very end did IMJ start focusing that Mercy down a little bit, but by then it was way too late. So really, Freak Squad, they need to have a little more focus fire. They need to know what is the priority target in these fights. And when you have something like that Pharmacy, the Pharah Mercy combo, you need to take out that Mercy so that the healing for Dreamy is out of the equation. So a little bit better, target prioritization coming out from Freak Squad could go a long way.
Yeah, and it's tough because a lot of teams are not used to playing against these, trip or quad DPS setups. And when they're taking damage from lots of different angles, especially if they're playing a heavy GOATS composition themselves, it's quite difficult to know, what to do. Perhaps sometimes you just need to switch up the hero pool here. But we're going to be going to Nepal next, which is the control map that wasn't played first time around because we saw Busan. And going back to control, I mean, that was fairly even. If I'm correct, it was 2-1, right? So
right.
I couldn't call it. Like,
I'm at a loss as well. I mean, one thing that might give Bad Company the edge is that we know they like to run the Mei. We've seen Dreamy run it on Mecha Base. We saw them use it on Hanamura. Mei is something that can come in really clutch on Village. On you can use it on a couple as well, but it's really on Village where the Mei is strong. So that could give them a slight edge if Village is one of the first maps that comes up in the selection. But I think the real question mark for me is going to be how these teams approach Sanctum, because it's a little bit different. Triple tank, triple support, not as popular on the map. It would be, I think, the first time we've seen Orisa in this competition between these two teams, if they decide to run Orisa. So really, Sanctum's the only question mark for me right now.
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of Orisa on Blizzard from Friday for 2 seconds, but I think he switched off there. But as you say, I think this is all dependent on which map within Nepal comes up first, because if it is Sanctum, I mean, Kieran's been doing very, very well on the Lucio so far, and obviously there's the boot potentials there. Haven't, as you said, seen too much Orisa play, but we have seen a lot of Mei play from Dreamy, and yeah, if we go to Village first, that could be in favor of Bad Company. If we go to Sanctum first, I'd probably put it actually in favor of Freak Squad, but who knows? Both teams here just having a quick break just to comfort break, get a few drinks in before they go to their final match. And both of these teams, they've got to be pretty confident, but they've got to be pretty nervous as well. It's not often you go to the 5th control map like this.
No, it's really not, especially for Open Division. It is very rare, so the pressure is on. But what a series! What a fun head-to-head matchup between these two teams. They got to be enjoying themselves, because again, it hasn't just been triple tank, triple support that we've seen. We've seen a mix of compositions, and that's always fun. It's always fun to see people flexing their hero pools a little bit. And so going into Nepal, we're gonna get going in just a second here, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And again, the last time we did Control, it like you said, went 2-1 and basically 99 to 100, except I think maybe one map didn't go that way. So it's going to be close.
And we are going to Sanctum first. So
we are.
I said, I put it in favor of Freak Squad, so I'm going to put my knowledge to the test here, so see who wins out. But truthfully, though, I think it's pretty even. Freak Squad do have the advantage. It's still going to be like 51% to 49%.
Okay, all right. So you're saying Freak Squad? Okay. I'm going to go Bad Company. I think that's my prediction here. I think the flexibility is going to help them a little bit on this map. They could throw some curveballs the way of Freak Squad. But again, like you said, this is going to come down to the wire. I really believe this is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, perhaps you are right, because they've shown versatility in DPS, in long range DPS, and this is the map for it. But here we go. Looks like Friday's going to be on Orisa, and Ink is going to be on the Hog. We haven't seen Hog yet. No Hog. So much like the halts, the boops, you can get those hooks right into the pit of Sanctum, and especially useful if you pair them with the halts, right? So you get that halt out there, you throw the hook wherever the orb lands. Can be very effective, very deadly. So yeah, Bad Company, they're going to be running the Ashe as well, so we could see some Bob, some Robert, if you will. So yeah, and the Hanzo as well for Bad Company. But Freak Squad, they're running triple tank, triple support, but an interesting composition with the Winston and the Hammond. They're going to try and slam in behind the shield, but there's already an early rotation. Oh, but look at this. Mickey manages to finish off Jig Reg very early on in this fight, so they do have the numbers advantage here. Turtle just using that cover to his advantage, now choosing to dive in, using that cleave, putting some pressure on. Friday getting the D-Mech. Point does initially go to Freak Squad, but look at that kill feed. Ink managing to get a pick onto Turtle there, and I think Bad Company are just going to be able to walk on and take this back.
At Bad Company, they lost Jig Reg early on, but we're seeing Static answering back with a kill onto Dreamy.
Yeah, he does. Jig Reg, though, is now back with the headshots onto Static. Looks as though Freak Squad are going to lose out here, but this is all about how quickly they lose, because if they stall this for another 10, 20, 30%, that could be huge. And we're seeing the Primal now coming out from a Turtle as well, trying to get some kills. Does manage to get Jigredge. They might be able to turn this around and actually win it. Going for the environmentals. Bye-bye, Friday! Going all the way back to Monday. And they hold out. Wow.
Wow, really great response there from Freak Squad. They took the point, and when it looked like Bad Company were about to walk on and retake possession, they answered right back. And again, good focus fire. I like the way Turtle knocked off Friday there on the Orisa, but now Bad Company, they're coming in with a couple of ultimates. They do have that Dragon from Dreamy, and then some Bongos from Friday. We could even see a whole Hawk.
Yeah, and we do see the supercharge out now, so they've got the extra damage. There is the Dragon as well. However, look at this. Mickey's just diving in, putting the minefield there, separating off Friday from the rest of his team. Friday goes down, and that is exactly what Freak Squad needed there. They didn't invest too many ultimates.
Right, and one thing I'm seeing is that Turtle is not being punished enough for the Winston play that they have, right? They were really focusing down Mez on the Ana, I believe it was. I think that they just switched on to Zenyatta, but you know, that's something that Bad Company are going to have to address.
Yeah, and they're going to have to address it quickly because it's already at 93%, so the last one get on point and take this. We see the sound barrier come out. Look at this, self-destruct catches Heli Jelly. Heli Jelly with nowhere to go. The rest of Bad Company now diving onto the point, trying to keep the stream alive. It is in overtime though, and they are pulled one by one. But Ink and Friday might be able to turn this around because they get kills of their own. We see the Transcendence coming out from Static, keeping the rest of his team alive for just a little bit longer. Static getting the kill onto Friday, but I couldn't call it. This could go either way from what we've seen already. Both teams brawling it out here. Dreamy though finishing off Kieran. We see the minefield come out, but might be a little too late as Jigredge there finishes off Mickey.
But great stalling there at the end from Freak Squad, and that's part of what this composition is really good at doing with that Wrecking Ball, the Lucio to speed them around. But Mickey's going to switch on to the Mei. Bad Company have switched their composition quite a bit throughout this map, but now they have that Winston Diva dive combo. They're going to have an EMP as well, so they could do an EMP bomb.
Interesting wall there. Didn't see too much value out of it, but Kieran there gets Friday. That could be huge. We see the EMP though coming out from Jigredge, so now the rest of Bad Company wanting to get involved. Self-destruct coming out, trying to combo with that, but doesn't connect. But Mickey connects with Dreamy's face there before Dreamy can get back into the mech. They're brawling it out on point. Mickey just freezing. Such a versatile hero pool. I think he played Zen last time. He's back on this Mei, and they managed to flip the point here. And Bad Company just diving in to try and win out here. But looks like it's gonna be Freak Squad taking the first point here in this fifth matchup.
Oh wow, what a map! Just such creative compositions being thrown out here. We saw the Ash Hanzo Orisa Roadhog. We saw Bad Company switch on to more of a dive setup, and then Freak Squad, you know, they had that triple tank, triple support that was dive focus as well, and then switching Mickey onto the Mei. Lots of different looks here, and showing that, you know, Bad Company, they're not the only ones who can be flexible. Freak Squad are showing that they got some flexibility as well. So really nice stuff. We're going to be moving on to Shrine. So this is a map where typically triple tank, triple support is heavily favored, but Pharah can be useful too. They can, you know, fit in a lot of damage through the windows of the point, and Dreamy is going to be showing us that Pharah.
Freak Squad moving on to the point. Both teams moving onto the point, using that pillar for a bit of cover from the poke damage. Especially Freak Squad trying to avoid the rockets of Dreamy. IMJ using the defense matrix as well to mitigate some of that damage. Looks like Freak Squad have taken the point here, but it has yet to unlock. 2 seconds before they can actually start capping it, and that is going to be when the other team wants to engage, but they might not be able to because Friday's already fallen. Kieran with the poop onto Jigredge as well. Oh, was that another boop? Oh no. Just managing to get away there, Mez. Just riding around the building.
Oh, close. But Freak Squad, they really did a good job of responding to Friday being a little out of position there. And of course, you know, with Heli Jelly on the Mercy, that means that their attention is really diverted to the Pharah. They're really making sure their Pharah stays alive, which means it's only Lucio and the Brigadier to keep their Reinhardt alive. But now moving into this, we could see an early shatter.
we do, and it does get Jigridge onto his back. We see the barrage though coming out from Dreamy. It finds one. Friday finds well. Yeah, Turtle manages to take down Dreamy with what I believe was a fire there. But Heli Jelly rises Dreamy straight back up. This is crazy. Both teams are fighting out. They're caught in the Graviton here. No real kills. And this is pretty even. This could go either way on the point as I say that. The front line of Bad Company Friday and pressing forward, swinging away, flailing away, getting those kills. And they should be able to flip this.
But we did see some good stall there from Freak Squad. Now, of course, that really came off the back of that initial barrage from Dreamy, right? Doing a nice job of dealing a lot of damage, getting that D-Mech. We saw that Freak Squad, they tried to use the Graviton Surge, but they invested it rather poorly. The team fight was really in Bad Company's favor. They could have saved it for this next team fight, whereas Jigreg, they're going to have their own Graviton Surge. This could get messy.
And that grab has come out already. We see the sound barrier, though, coming out from Kieran, keeping the rest of Freak Squad alive. Shatter there from Friday, just blocked by Turtle, I believe, but the barrage there from Dreamy comes out. It finds Static, but Mickey punishing Dreamy in the sky. OMJ with a self-destruct of his own, catches Jigreg as well. Again, kills on both sides. Doesn't mean too much at the moment, probably in favour of the defence, in favour of Bad Company. They're going to be able to perhaps get a D-Mech here onto IMJ, but IMJ backing off, and now we see the Transcendence coming out from Mickey. Maybe this will swing the fight. The rest of Freak Squad getting onto point. They do invest the Graviton here, and they manage to get value. Static and Callum swinging away into it, and they're going to be able to flip the point.
I did not think Freak Squad were going to flip that. As soon as I saw the Transcendence coming out, I was like, oh no, they're using that way too early. There's not a whole lot of damage, but then they followed up with the Graviton Surge, grouped everyone up, dealt the damage. Turtle came back in, and it was all good. So really impressive stuff there from Freak Squad, answering well. Again, if Freak Squad take this, they do win the map and the series. So Bad Company, they got to come in. They do have a sound barrier to start off with.
They come in, but they get caught by the shatter there. We've got the self-destruct as well coming out. Doesn't manage to catch anything. Both teams brawling it out. It's 89% though in favour of Freak Squad. They're going to want to win out here. This is last fight territory. Bad Company need to win this, and they're already a main tank down. They do have Dreamy on the May though. Maybe he can keep the dream alive. Jigreg and Ink do fall though. This looks like it is going to be a victory here for Freak Squad. And what a show they have put on so far. What a show both teams here have put on. We've got the Transcendence from Mickey just to finish this off. Can anyone from Bad Company touch? No, they cannot. This goes to Freak Squad, and what a game we saw.
What a series. So impressive here. And Nepal, the last map, really went in Freak Squad's favor all the way. We're going to see a nice Winston play of the game here from Friday. I wonder what this could be. This is just doing a lot of damage, it looks like. But, yeah, so really great stuff from both these teams. I think that, man, what it really came down to on Nepal is that Bad Company took too long to respond to what Freak Squad were running at them, especially on Sanctum, maybe a little bit on Shrine, but I think with Shrine, you know, Freak Squad started off with the triple tank, triple support. That was a little stronger against Dreamy's Pharah. You know, Dreamy definitely got some value out of it. They won a couple team fights off the back of it, but in the long run, that triple tank, triple support, it has just so much sustainability that you're still able to get the edge out in a lot of those team fights.
Yeah, totally agree. Just like to say, you know, I predicted Freak Squad at the beginning of Nepal. I think that was a big brain there on my part, if I can say so myself.
I see. No, truly, very well done. Yeah.
That could have gone to a third map. It was pretty close. As you say, I think that Bad Company just the one disadvantage they seemed to have, and I would say it's an advantage as well for Freak Squad. Freak Squad were just able to adapt a lot faster than Bad Company were here. You know, we saw Bad Company on Blizzard World holding out so well with that quad DPS. They were trying new stuff, yeah, definitely. And then Freak Squad just managed to take the point there. You know, it was really close. Then Freak Squad went into that next matchup and just back to basics. Let's win out here. And when you see these goats, you know, tank heavy compositions go up against each other, it's all about the minutia. It's about when do you use the Zarya bubbles on your Reinhardt, when your Reinhardt can get aggressive. And we saw that Friday for Bad Company was getting really, really aggressive and was very enabled to do so by their Zarya. But then sometimes, if you just don't get that bubble right in one, aggressive Reinhardt can go down, and then suddenly it's a 6v5. And as soon as it's 6v5 at this level of play, that's game over 70-80% of the time.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And again, that's part of why the composition that Bad Company were running on Shrine, why that was such a problem, is because you have one support who is basically solely dedicated to keeping up the Pharah. They're not going to be able to keep up that Reinhardt. That's why Friday fell so early in a lot of those team fights, is that they just didn't have the same resources that Turtle did with the rest of their team. So definitely, keeping your Reinhardts alive in this tank heavy meta that we find ourselves is so crucial. You're absolutely right.
Oh, definitely. When it's those 3-3 compositions, you got to be spot on with your cooldowns there. And I mean, both sides actually did a very good job of soft disengaging when they needed to. Once they'd used their cooldowns, they didn't stick in the fight. They just backed up a little bit so they were back and then got aggressive again. So I think the flow of the game from that perspective was great from both sides. I liked Dan Slay's play early on. Obviously, he was replaced by Turtle as well, who did some great plays himself. Actually, I think probably on par there. Friday, great main tank as well. We saw Dreamy on that Pharah. For me was that was a dream.
Well, it worked out though on Blizzard World. I mean, and I think what happened there is that Freak Squad, like you mentioned earlier, they adapted well, right? It was a problem for them on Blizzard World, but in between Blizzard World and Nepal, they had a chance to kind of talk it over, figure out, okay, how do we actually approach this, right? And they just kind of figured it out. They adapted well. So definitely good stuff from Freak Squad as they evolved through the map series. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun indeed, and thank you very much to both teams here. Congratulations to Freak Squad, but hope both teams go on to their next matches next week and do equally as well. I'm sure they will. And we're going to have to wrap it up here. I've been Spaceman. I've been with the magnificent Zark as well. I just want to say thank you, Zark, and thank you, Benviglo, for doing the production behind the scenes. We're part of Broadcast.gg, which is a community for broadcasters, hosts, analysts, casters, producers, cameramen, all that sort of thing. If you want to get involved, please do follow the links below. And we will be returning later this evening with some North American Open Division. So make sure that you're following this channel and keeping an eye on that. But for the moment, that is it from us. Thank you very much for joining.